Woo! Holy moly, it is cold out here. But the sun finally came out and the wind was blowing. I'm gonna have a full crew today, and that full crew will consist of some more special guests on our farm. So stay tuned and find out who it is. All right, we're down to about 300 acres of soybeans. I think Robert and Dylan and Kelly was able to get 100 acres of soybeans cut the other day. So about 3 to 4 days is what we like of being totally done. We actually looked out, didn't get all that much rain. Friday night only got about 0.15 of an inch. So I know the beans probably still be wet today on Sunday, but actually they'll probably be frozen today. But we can put them in the bin, we can run some air on, we can dry them down. You get a sunny, breezy November day, especially when you got some folks that want to come all the way from Middle Tennessee to help you out. You don't waste that day, so we're going to see how many beans we can get out today. Morning.
Morning, Matt.
How you going?
Fine, how much so?
Good.
We made it.
You're
Jesse.
Alex. You're Jesse.
That's Alex.
I don't know. I'm terrible with names.
Okay. We answer each other's names all the time. Yeah. We get called each other's names all the time back home. Just answer it, go on.
Well, especially when you're brothers.
Yeah. Everybody says we look alike or something.
I guess almost twins.
Yeah, I'm getting old. It's a
Same.
40. It's a 40 shit man.
Yeah.
So how long it take y'all to get here?
How's your fingers? About 2 hours, 15 minutes.
They're in there.
Too bad, Tom.
I figured it'd been longer than that though. I don't think there's any easy way to get there from here.
There's no straight way here.
Yeah. Y'all want to try and get some beans out today?
I think do something today.
Right? Jump all the way.
You get a little breeze and sun in November, you don't need to waste it sitting in the house.
Yeah, I'd say sun.
All right, who we got here with us today is Alex and Jesse Lampley from I'm tired, I got harvest brain. Anyway, who we got here today is Alex and Jesse Lampley, come all the way from Middle Tennessee. What town y'all from?
Etheridge, Tennessee.
All the way from Etheridge, Tennessee. Volunteered there Sunday to help us get some beans out. Robert and Dylan had some other stuff they had to do this weekend, so got these guys up here. We're gonna try and get some acres cut and whittle down that 300 acres a little bit farther. All right, everything's serviced. Y'all ready to get after it?
Might as well.
Yeah,
Let's see what we can get knocked out. Are you cold or something? It's warmed up to like 35 degrees.
I think it's 36 now.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get after it. Woo! Glad to be back in this thing. Oh my. Guess Dylan don't like any air in his seat. Boy, it sure is good to be back in this combine again. Don't have to follow any rows or anything like that. Just go out the field and cut whichever way I want to. Kelly's showing, I don't know if she's showing Alex or Jesse how to run the tractor with the green cart there. Looks like that's Alex there on the semi-truck. I'm guessing Jesse's gonna be in the grain cart here. I don't think my heater's working. And I can't thank Alex and Jesse Lampley enough for coming out here and helping us today. If you're not familiar with them, they've also got a YouTube channel. Look up Lampley Brothers Farming on YouTube. If I can remember, I'll post a link to their channel right here. Anyway, they're all the way over from Middle Tennessee. And you know, not only do they have their own row crop farm that they do, they also each have full-time jobs. I just don't know how they do it. I mean, they farm full-time. They got done with their harvest. Still got a little bit of wheat to plant. They got their full-time, also farm jobs. and they still found time to volunteer to come help us out today on Sunday. And I just don't know how they do it, but I can't appreciate it enough, them coming over here to help us out because of Kelly's injury. But anyway, because they are out here supporting our farm, I'm asking all my viewers to go over to YouTube and support their channel. They're getting up there close to 1,000 subscribers, so I would consider it a personal favor if all of y'all would go over there and subscribe to their channel, get them up over 1,000. That way they can start monetizing their channel and making a little income off of it, and helping to support their operations even more. You know what we found out a couple years ago is getting over that initial hump, getting to 1,000 subscribers is kind of a hard thing to do, because you know, YouTube doesn't really, with our algorithms, doesn't really promote your channel unless you start getting a lot of views. Well, if nobody can find your videos, it's hard to get a lot of views. It's hard to get a lot of views unless you get a lot of subscribers. So if you can, help them out. Let's help put their channel on the map, so hopefully it can take off and grow. But surprisingly, even though you know, Kelly and I have communicated with them quite a bit, you know, over social media and stuff, this is the first time we've actually ever met them. So really glad to have the opportunity to meet them in person. Well, I gotta say, the yields down here in this bottom are not disappointing at all. 70, 74, 72. Mighty good beans. Now, I know the hills that Robert and Dylan cut, they weren't near as good. In fact, the first farm they were on is perhaps one of my worst farms, especially when it comes to drought tolerance. But I think he told me, according to Monitor, they was cutting around 40, 41. Well, we're full already. But you get places where they had some moisture, man, they really showing out. All right, I'm not going to ask you to unload on the go on your first try getting used to a new tractor.
Appreciate that.
We'll get out here and check the moisture.
Hey, just close enough. That's how far away you want me?
Yeah, yeah, you're pretty much perfect there.
Okay, I'm pretty. I had to feel like I was hitting the head with the tire to be right. The moisture on it looked pretty good.
I don't know, my moisture on my moisture meter on combine is frozen. I don't know if it's got plugged up from the rain or not, but my moisture tester here is saying 13%. I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be that dry. But they look like they're making some beans in. It looks like it's making pretty good.
Yeah, my monitor showing around 70, 75 down here in this bottom. I know the ones on the hills ain't near as good though. Thought when they were calling for rain, sleet, and snow Friday night, up to a ½ inch, that I'll be cutting 13% beans at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning. In fact, I told Alex and Jesse when we were talking on Friday, like, man, I just don't see how we're going to cut beans at all this weekend. Appreciate your offer, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess how many combine fulls does this grain cart hold? 2, 3?
It'll hold almost three full combine loads, but it takes 4 to fill the truck up. So generally, I try to put 2 on there, go fill up the front hopper, and I'll put 2 more on there, and you fill up the back hopper.
That's what I was asking for. So 2, and I'll go fill the truck up. I'll work on that.
I tell you what, for once this year, I guess the weather finally played in our favor. Because even though it was cloudy yesterday, the wind blew all day yesterday, blew all last night, and dried these beans back down. That's what we needed in the worst kind of way. We need the day. Because we got rain, we got 80-90% chance of rain for Monday night, which will be tomorrow night. So we'll get today and tomorrow in. But we're going to need a minimum 3.5 to 4 days to get done, because I might have to be pulling double duty driving the truck tomorrow along with combining. Might stick Carter in the combine for a little bit. I don't know. You know, we're not going to be at maximum productivity once Alex and Jesse leave here. We'll get it done though, and hopefully we'll get it done before Thanksgiving. You know, we got about a week and a half before Thanksgiving, so hopefully in that time we can find 4 days to get all this wrapped up. You know, normally I wouldn't have any problem putting either Carter or Nate here on the combine, but Nate has no experience at all ever driving the combine, operating it. And double crop soybeans is not the place to learn on driving a combine, operating it. Now Carter has cut full season soybeans before, but it's been in nice big flat fields, and he hasn't cut beans on this type of terrain, you know, where you got terraces and washouts and everything else that you really got to watch for. And you know, ideally before he does that, I'd like for him to be a little bit older, have a little bit more experience on equipment, because he's real gung-ho on equipment, you know, just really want to really push you forward, and you know, but he still doesn't have enough experience to know all the ins and outs of the machines and knowing how hard is too hard to push a machine. And you know, a combine cutting high yielding beans is something you really got to listen to the machine and make sure you're not pushing it too hard at the risk of choking it up. Could potentially tear something up. So I feel like, you know, I put him on here for much extended time. You know, I could be creating problems with either breakdowns or having to unplug the machine or whatnot. Now Jesse, if you see any armadillos out here in the field, just feel free to load it up and take it home as a pet now.
There's a count. I brought some with me and let them out a while ago, because some may or may not have.
Man, I sure do enjoy cutting beans that have been hit by a frost a whole lot more than beans that haven't been hit by a frost. I mean, they're all, completely dead, dried out, and they just feeding in so nicely, going through the combine, no rumbling, no nothing. Able to run along here, you know, 4.5 miles an hour, 1,300 bushels per hour. That's a ticket there. Straw still hadn't quite dried out. It's still a little damp and wanting to push up piles on me, so we haven't run our cutter bar tilted back a little bit more than what I would like, but give it another couple hours out in this sun and wind and it'll do fine. Oh, a little dusty out here. Now, I wonder how much Jesse gonna like that blue paint there.
And then just write down this full weight on the notepad here, right?
Well, I mean, just however you want to do it to keep track of what weight actually goes on the truck. I mean, sometimes some people like to zero the scale out before they start dumping on the truck, and then whatever the negative number is, they'll write that down. So, like I said, whatever tactic works best for you.
Okay, so the main thing is you want total weight on truck. That's cool. I can handle that.
Yeah, whatever goes on the truck off of each farm is what I need to know to be able to pay the landlords and everything.
Hey, I'm sitting there looking backwards. I forgot I had a camera I can look at right here.
Yeah, you got 3 to choose from there.
Almost too fancy, man. Almost too fancy.
All right, that should get the truck halfway filled up there. I'm gonna see how well they like the CVT transmissions there. Of course, they run, a little bit older John Deere tractors, and I don't know if they got quad ranges or power shifts in their tractors, or might have both. I told them if they do a lot of tillage work, they probably want to keep their power shifts or quad ranges. But for grain buggy work and planter work, I don't think you can hardly beat a CVT.
So this dark color indicates that it was fractured, hairline fracturing from the factory, and it was already rusty. So,
you know what's really neat? Being able to watch Lampley Brothers' latest video while they're out here on the farm helping us out. Pretty neat. Y'all go to their channel and check it out. I saw Dylan just released a new video too. I'm going to have to go over there and watch it soon too. All right, Jesse, I believe this load's going to finish this farm up, and then we're going to go through the tree line in front of me. And on your sheets, I believe I've got that farm labeled as McCleary, Crockett County.
I got a sheet. I got a notepad. Write it down. McCleary, Crockett County is what you said?
Yeah, I believe that's what I got it called on them sheets in there. Man, this farm did better than I was expecting. I mean, these three, I don't know what the front two fields cut that Dylan and Robert cut, but these back fields, I mean, the lowest I was seeing was like between 50 and 60, and that was on the hillside. Then got down here in the bottoms, I mean, it was 70 to 75. Well, it looks like I lied about being able to make it all the way around the edge. I keep forgetting how much the drought hurt my stand around the edges.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When you go up there, I thought, well, we made it. Then you really have running all those trees and made them up on the side of the side of the hill there. Hey, man.
Yes, darling.
Stuck up. Are you guys over at McCleary yet so I can show him where it's at?
Give me another 10 minutes, I'll have my spot cut out.
Okay.
Well, we've now had two different sets of farmers from two different parts of Tennessee come to our farm and help out, and both of them have widely varying opinions on our roads. Dylan said we got some of the narrowest, roughest roads he's ever seen. Of course, we're in Crockett County. He's from up there in Gibson County. Then we got the Lampley brothers who are from over there in Middle Tennessee, and they said our roads are almost like 4-lane highways compared to what they have to drive down. Whereas my opinion is somewhere in the middle. I've definitely been on worse roads, but I've been on better roads too. Well, even though the beans started out dry this morning, the straw down beneath the wheat straw still a little damp, and had to go slower to try and keep from pushing up piles and stuff. But now, after several hours of some sun and wind, that straw's done dried out, and we can blow and go. We're running about 5.5 miles an hour here. We get into some better beans that slow down to about 5. But we're able to quickly knock out some acres now. Looks like we'll be changing farms again here in probably about an hour, hour and a half. Man, I love cutting some beans that have been hit by frost. Well, Jesse, do you think you feel comfortable enough to try unloading on the go yet?
Whatever you want to try.
All right, just go. We'll take it easy. Just go ahead and set your speed at 4 miles an hour, and I'll do the rest.
I can do that.
Boy, 4 miles an hour seems painfully slow now. Man, he's doing it like he's been running that tractor and grain buggy for years. For those non-farmers out there, you just don't realize just how different each type of equipment or brand of equipment can be, and the controls, how it handles, how it reacts, everything. And every piece of equipment really takes some getting used to before you can really run it nice and efficiently. Jesse, you and Alex have got a career waiting on you over here anytime y'all want to quit farming over in Middle Tennessee.
Keep that in mind. It's a lot easier on them to go with the CVT transmission is that manual we try to do it with every now and then.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, I don't recommend a CVT for tillage work. Power shift or just a straight shift is better on putting power to the ground. But when it comes to planting or grain buggy work, I don't think there's a better transmission suited out there. All right, that's got these two farms wrapped up. So now we get to move on down the road onto the center farm. See how much of a dent we can make on that before Alex and Jesse have to head on back to Middle Tennessee. They got about a 2.5 hour drive. They said they want to be on the road by about 6 o'clock because both of them got their full-time jobs tomorrow. Overall, we've had some dang good running today. We've gotten 44 acres knocked out so far. Can't beat that. Heck, in 4 hours of cutting beans, we cut more acres than all but our best day of picking cotton all day long. Hey Jesse, how many pounds did we get off of just this field total?
Give me a second, I'll add it up. I got 53,900.
53,900, that's right at 50 bushels an acre for double crops, man. Can't beat that. Yeah, my monitor's off quite a bit. It's reading high, so it's reading about 5 bushels an acre high. But, you know, lots changed since we first calibrated it. Perhaps I really need to calibrate it again, but it's not really that big of a deal. It's still recording the good areas and the bad areas, and I can go in on my desktop software after I save everything onto my program, and I can post calibrate everything then to make sure we got accurate records from each single part of the field, because the way fertilizer prices looking again, I'm probably going to do my fertilizer prescriptions based upon crop removal, just like I did last year. And we need good accurate numbers to know just how much nutrients we pulled off of each individual little spot in the field. And we're running into a serious problem on this farm. No, y'all probably can't tell it from the video, but man, a lot of these beans have already popped out. It's like they've been ready to harvest for over 2 months. And this is the exact same variety as we just had on the last farm, and as the crow flies, only about a mile separates them. The only difference is that these beans were planted 3 days earlier than the last beans we cut. But it's like they've been sitting out here ready for months. I mean, all the way up and down the plant. A lot of those pods have done twisted and popped open, and I can see seed littering the ground pretty bad. We've never had that problem out of this variety, and I've been growing it. This is now my 4th or 5th year growing this variety. We've never had a problem with this variety popping, and they haven't been ready that long. In fact, when we were cutting double crop soybeans, what, about October 20th, while I wait on the rest of my cotton to get ready, I mean, these beans weren't even ready to cut yet. Otherwise, we would have been cutting on these. And it's not all over the field, but it's around the edges. I've seen it pretty bad. I mean, you're talking about quite a bit of lost revenue right there. You know, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we got 5-6 bushels per acre loss at, say, $14, $15 a bushel. That's a good bit of income right there. And I don't know why. Just, I mean, they've been through quite a few, you know, smaller rains. They've been through some heavy dews, but still, they haven't been ready that long yet. I don't know if, you know, the drought that we had this year affected them, especially during September when they were really filling out. They ran out of water then. That might have weakened the cell structure on the pods. Just the soybean trying to derive nutrients from it to send to the seed to produce yield. I don't know if that's it, or I mean, it could very well be. Pretty disheartening though. I mean, they're still doing okay. They're still, you know, they're showing around 40 bushels in those spots, but still, I produced it. I'd rather see it go in the combine than just sitting there on the ground. Well, it looks like Alex on top of the semi over there filming. So it looks like they're gonna make a video out of this too, so y'all definitely be sure to tune on over to their channel, see what the video's gonna be. Ah man, I hate this time of day. The sun's low, right in my eyes. Combine that with a dusty windshield, it's hard to see. You taking a tour of the zombie trail over here to our right yet?
figured that's what it was. I saw the statues back there in the edge of the woods.
Y'all get rained out next October, I'll bring your kids down here. I'll take you through it myself.
Pick you up on that next year.
I promise you, it looks a whole lot better at night under the black lights than it does during the daylight.
Sure it does. Most stuff I've seen with black lights looks a lot better when it's painted at night with the black light on it.
You can see one of the scenes over there. Overall, we had a good year on the zombie trail and the haunted house. Now, we didn't have the attendance through the zombie trail part that we did last year, but when you add the addition of the Camp Blood, the haunted house part, you know, we actually did a little bit better than last year. But you know, talking with the owners, really think that this economy really come into play this year. You know, people just don't have as much disposable income to, you know, come have fun, especially for the zombie trail. You know, it's not cheap to bring a family of 4 out to the zombie trail, and I think that probably contributed to a decline in attendance. And then also our biggest night of the year, the Saturday right before Thanksgiving, we got rained out. We didn't get rained out any other night, but the night that we expected the most attendance, you know, probably well over 1,000 people, you know, we got rained out, unfortunately. But overall, had a successful year and can't wait to do it again next year. Y'all just go ahead and make plans. October 2023, come down one of those weekends. Like to meet you. Y'all have a good time. Y'all have a good time while we're at it. All right, I know y'all got to go. I'll meet you up there by the truck when I get done unloading.
Actually, take it to unload it for you and bring it back. That way the truck's empty.
You sure? I know y'all got a long drive home.
It won't take 15 minutes to unload it. He can unload it. That way everything's in there empty, so you can keep running.
All right, yeah, I got about 13 acres on this farm here. That'll definitely give me.
That's what I was kind of thinking. We figured if we did that, you could get this done tonight by yourself and not worry about it. So ain't no big deal.
Well, man, I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate y'all coming out. I mean, we got about 70 acres done so far today, and I doubt I could have done even half of that without y'all out here, man. It means the world to me, y'all coming out here, taking you Sunday and helping us get done. We'll be that much closer to going into hibernation here in a few days.
Yeah, it ain't no big deal. We know how it is to be a little behind like this and kind of get done before the cold weather sets in and go to hibernate. So it ain't that big a deal. We had a chance to we had opportunity to do it this weekend. We couldn't help any other time. We're going to get into Thanksgiving and stuff. So actually we're going to help and try to do it now.
Well, if y'all ever get in a bind in the future and I can return the favor, man, please holler at me. I'd like the opportunity.
We'll add you to the list. It ain't no big deal. We'll holler at you when we need something. We did text Dylan a while ago and told him that the requirement for short people is they have to move the seat back though in the truck as they drive it.
I got my combine seat and all the air was let out of it. It was like Carter had been driving it.
Poor short guy problems. Other guys need to get some step tools or something, some stitching for his feet or something.
All right, like I said, we got about 14 acres left on this 48-acre farm. Pretty sure Kelly getting the grain buggy for a little bit. We're gonna try and finish it up. One more farm checked off the list. These beans start to get a little tough. That straw started to get a little damp. That wind stopped blowing about the time the sun hit the top of those trees. But we'll just go ahead and tilt the cutter bar back a little bit more and try and get it done. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm about to have some icicles hanging off my goatee. It's done got cold in here. As soon as that sun went down, temperature in here dropped by about 30 degrees at least. I can't feel my toes, my knees cold. I can still feel my nose because it's cold. To completely turn my air off because having cold air blowing on me is even that much worse, but now I'm about to fog the windows up. So I turn it back on here in a minute, otherwise I won't be able to see. The problem's not the shutoff valves back there. Go ahead.
Are you cutting more and they're leaving? What's the plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get this farm done. I got about 13 acres left to go. I'd like to get it done this evening.
So what do you want to do?
Hey, Kelly, we're going to empty this truck for you, then we're going to leave it.
Are you bringing it back out?
That way it's here so you can throw it back up out here.
I Awesome. I have dinner too. For you guys.
8.8, that'll work.
Y'all feel special. I don't get dinner that often.
You lie like a daggone dog. I have dinner for you too. Do you want to eat it out here or do you want to eat it at home?
I want to eat it at home while I'm thawing out beside the fire. I've got icicles hanging off my beard right now. I don't want to thaw them out until I'm at home.
You're in the combine. How do you have icicles hanging from your beard?
My heater don't work.
My God.
All right, I'm gonna remember that. When you're cold,
Welcome to the farm where everything's froze.
I'm gonna remember that. When you're cold, this winter, I'm gonna snuggle up with me in bed. I'm gonna tell you to get back on this
Even one of
side.
the owners.
I think that's funny. But anyway, as I was saying, the problem is definitely not my shut-off valves back there on the engine. I made sure they were open. I think the problem is the computerized mix box here on this automatic climate control in the cab not working. I don't know if I'll bother fixing this winter or not. I'm sure that's a pretty pricey little deal right there, and considering I only need the heater maybe once or twice every other year in this combine, it really ain't that big of a deal, even though it feels like a pretty dang big deal right now. I don't know. I'll price it, make a decision then. All right, gotta defog the windows. Woo! There's that north wind right there. I would tell y'all how to turn on the lights there at the grain bins, but ever since we built that loadout bin, it blocks all the lights, so those lights really don't help all that much.
It sounds like something we would do, so my fault.
All right, I can see now. Turn that north wind off. I tell you something, I'm about to drain that hot water heater when I get home. I know what y'all thinking. Man, you're a big old sissy. You know them old timers used to be cutting beans in this weather without a cab, with a north wind of about 50 miles an hour, breathing in all that dust. You got it made. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Still don't mean I ain't cold though. It's done gotten wet out here. I done slowed down about 3 miles an hour, tilted my cutter bar almost all the way back, and I'm still pushing up piles. But I mean, we've only got like 5 or 6 more acres left on this farm. I mean, we're going to get it done. It's just going to take longer than I'd like. Got my lovely bride back there in the grain cart. She's going to help finish up this last little bit here. I know I've already said it like 10 times already, but huge thanks to Robert, Dylan, Alex and Jesse. I mean, y'all done put me ahead of the game by probably 4 to 5 days, and that could be all the difference in getting done before Thanksgiving or not. Both those groups of guys, some real stand-up guys, and I appreciate it. Hopefully some point in the future, I'll be able to come help you on your farm. In fact, that's one of the few joys in life I've got, is the rare time I do have a chance to go help somebody else on their farm. I mean, I absolutely love it. You know, I love farming, but I don't think I've made it any secret that I don't care for the business of actually running a farm. You know, being the one in charge, making decisions, you know, having to solve all the problems. You know, I do love just being out here and farming, but if somebody else could handle all that stuff, you know, I really enjoy it. Well, when I go on somebody else's farm, I mean, that's exactly what happens. I just do what they ask me to do. I do it to the best of my ability, try and help them out as much as I can, and get the job done without having to, you know, worry about everything else without worrying about everything else that's going on. I don't know if they think the same way I do. I got a feeling that there's a good chance that they do, and you know, getting the chance to come out on somebody else's farm, you know, run their equipment and just farm is probably a pretty enjoyable experience, or at least I hope it was for them anyway. Dang, there's another big pile, and it's the mower up. Thank God for hydraulic reversers. It's a big old wad of wet, rotten straw there. Getting a little foggy in here. Temperature dropped another degree or two. This condensation on my glass might just turn to frost.
So how did things go with the Lampley brothers?
It all went pretty dang good. I mean, when I get done with those two fields, we've gotten about 92 acres done today, and I mean, didn't even get started till 11:30. Changed farms. They never run my equipment before. I'd say it was a pretty dang good day. If they ever decide to hang up farming in Middle Tennessee, I'll have them a job waiting.
I honestly don't know how they do it. You know, Jesse keeping a full-time job, Alex has a full-time job, and then they farm row crops, and then have cattle on top of that. Like, that's basically like 3 full-time jobs.
You also forgot the fact that they put out as many YouTube videos as I do too, and we know how much time that takes.
Oh, I just admire people that do what they do, that, you know, ultimately their goal is to be farmers, but, you know, life throws crap at you where you can't do it full time, and you got to keep insurance and keep a job, and that's hard. So, yeah, they're definitely some of the hardest working people I know. Hey, and I'm kind of disappointed because Jesse told me that when Alex cut his finger, he took him for ice cream. I didn't get any ice cream after I almost severed my fingers off. I got dropped off in a field. That's kind of unfair.
You forget the fact that I had a 14-year-old on a cotton picker who had never run a cotton picker before.
Well, ice cream would have made me feel better.
I don't think any amount of ice cream or drugs would have made you feel better that day.
Honestly, nothing's making me feel better at all. My fingers are very, very angry right now.
Well, maybe next time watch where you put them.
Maybe next time 2 kids shouldn't be arguing and this wouldn't have happened.
All right, that's got this farm done. I wasn't expecting to get this far today. I'm super happy. 92, 93 acres done today. Gonna be a little bit slower going tomorrow because they won't have to get Carter here in the combine to drive the combine while I run trucks and just kind of have to do back and forth like that. And I'm gonna have Carter going slow in this thing because I don't want to run the risk of choking it up or tearing anything up. Double crop beans are not easy to cut. Be able to get Jesse's notes on the weights and stuff, get it all straight where we can put it on the spreadsheet in the truck.
Oh yeah, he writes meticulous.
Well, he is an engineer.
That's exactly what I said.
All right, let's go home. I'm frozen. I need a thaw. I need to thaw out. Well, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you out here in the morning. See what tomorrow brings.